All right, let's keep modeling this thing. So far, it's pretty simple. In a minute, we'll put a turbo smooth modifier on it to see how it looks smoothed out. So as you need to, you can, add more loops just by selecting, oops, selecting a bunch like that and using connect, or you can also, if you need more loops this way, I select one here and I can hit ring, for example. It goes as far as it can here. I could add more to it, but and you could connect that way also. Now you don't have to go either one way or the other. You can also kind of go around. Like let me make an example here. If I wanted sort of a more swollen cockpit cockpit looking kind of a thing here, I could go like this. So let's see. I'll select these three here. So I'm marking across, right, to make sure I get the ones on the back side too. And I'm holding down control to get these and these. All right, so let's see what I got. Yeah, and then if I hit connect, or maybe I want to do it with two there. I could bring out sort of a piece there. Okay, that could be interesting. And let's say I want to, one thing we haven't talked about too much, I don't think, is constraints. So if I take this guy and this guy here, if I want to move them right down that edge, I go to under edit geometry, you'll see constraints. Okay, I'm going to constrain along the edge. And now when I drag it, okay, it constrains it to right staying on the edge. Okay, maybe I'll do these guys too. And remember, if you don't select marquee and select in the side view, make sure you get the back ones. Make sure you get the back ones either way. Okay, so now if I wanted to, slowest possible way to do it. I could, oops, I was, I was remember to turn off constraints, okay? I don't think that this thing actually really has that bulbous area on it, but so now you don't have to do this part, and but if you wanted to work on one side, like some kind, like what I was just doing there with the these two vertices, if I wanted to scale them out or inward so it's symmetrical, it's kind of hard to do, right? Like if I get on scale, let's see if it, I don't think it, oh, it does work in this case, okay? But what I was going to show you is, let's see if I can make this work. If I want to do a symmetry modifier, okay? Now I'm making sure I'm right on the edge here, including the ends. Okay, I have everything on one side, and I'm going to hit delete. Okay, and then I put a symmetry modifier in here. Again, you guys don't have to do this. It's just something that if you wanted to work with. Let's try flip on there. That doesn't look like the right axis. You can make all kinds of cool missiles. Here we go. Oh my gosh, there. All right, so now I have the symmetry on here, and if I drop down to, say vertex level, turn on show end result. Now, if I go, see if I move one, it moves the other one. Okay, so in that case, you only have to select half. Let's see what this happens when I put a turbo smooth on. And you can always just collapse that too. Just go collapse two, and it'll just merge it back into one object. Or just right click on it, convert to editable poly. That'll put it back to one object without the symmetry modifier. Let's see what it looks like with a turbo smooth on here. Not sure how the symmetry will influence it. Same. Okay. So I'm going to actually collapse this and go back to without the symmetry on there. You can put it on and take it off as you want. It's relatively easy to do. Collapse all. Yes. Back to an editable poly that's symmetrical. All right. Anyway, let's look at that turbo smooth. T for turbo smooth. All right, there's a couple of modifiers that do similar things. I'm going to use this one. Now that's pretty messed up looking, right? So what turbo smooth does is it takes a more, see iterations are set to 1. I can turn it to 2, okay, or maybe 3. Don't go higher than that or you'll get something so complicated you'll crash your machine. All right, for working, you probably just want it on 2. For your final render, maybe 3. Sorry, for working, put it on 1. For your final render, 2. I don't think you really need 3. Okay, so just to demonstrate how this works a little bit, let me make a cube. Okay, and I'm going to convert it to editable poly. Okay, and then I'm going to put the turbo smooth on there. Okay, so it turns it into a sphere. Okay, turbo smooth turns a cube into a sphere. So in order to get a hard edge on there, show end result, I got to go and take some edges. Okay, it's kind of hard to see it, but when I'm down in the editable poly level with turbo smooth on, I can still see the edges there. So I selected these down the middle. And if I go to connect, make 2, and turn up pinch, see, I can get a hard edge there. All right. Now I'll go this way and do the same thing. Select those edges, connect, and now I have a hard edge there. And it looks like the last way I didn't do is this way, connect. So we can make sort of a smooth cornered box that way, all right? But it was a I'm hitting F4 here. It was a cube at first. So to make it not be a sphere, but instead a rounded corner cube, you have to force it to go tight around the corners by putting these extra loops in here. All right. So so that's what we're going to do with our aircraft here. Let's do the wings first, they're the worst. So I'm dropping down to editable poly level, and I'm going to select my edges. Okay, here I'm in crossing that window, right? And control and these ones, right? Because I want to put a loop out here around the edge here and out here around the edge and in here around the edge, the base of the wing and the tip of the wing, okay? Should be enough. It'll still be a rounded like this way, as long as it's not rounded this way. We can also put loops running down the wing too, if it's rounded too much the other way. Anyway, Let's do this. I'm going to turn on show end result. Okay. Things get a little bit hairy here. So turn off or on as needed. All right. And I'm going to go to connect. I want, so where is the edge? All right. If I slide it, all right, so I'm going to do 2. I'm going to turn up pinch. I'm going almost like 96%. That's pretty tight on the end right there. Probably good. All right, so there's a decent looking wing. Now it looks a little skinny here, but maybe it's not really like that. I'm doing F4 off and on. Now we could, you know, run a loop down just here to make the wing more rectangular, but I don't think we really want that. I think it's good the way it is. All right, let's do the same thing on these wings here. So I'm down in my editable poly level. I'm going to go select these guys, control select these guys, and let's go into connect. Looks good. Okay. And now finally this wing here, the last remaining one. Let's see how this looks. Yeah. All right, so then we can just go and add more detail as needed. Like a few things here, I have like a hump, sort of a, probably because I made this totally unnecessary cockpit thing here, which you really don't need to do. And it added a little bit of bumpiness there. Let's see if I can fix that. I'm going to target weld. Let's see how this works. Okay. I'm not going to spend forever diddling with this, but so we want to just like go through and like look at the details of things and see what needs to be done. Just looking at that air intake thing, kind of gets lower in the front and humps up. It's a weird looking thing. And maybe I need a probably should have put another loop on here. I wonder if I can make a ring around this whole thing. This isn't going to hurt the wing, I don't think. Oops. Probably should have done that before, but it doesn't matter. So, it doesn't really have to look exactly like the real thing, but it has to look good. That's the idea. And try to not have too many funky, bumpy looking spots. Try to get it smooth. I figure out what the back looks like here. Oh, the back has a propeller on it. We can put that on as a separate object, right? Build a propeller or something on there. So just go through and add details, and let's wrap up making the model here, and then we'll unwrap it and texture it, okay? And like I said, we can make a propeller. This is just like a cone thing, which I presume spins with this propeller. I think the thing has like this was, what, didn't I have this open in the back here? Guess I didn't do that. I could have sworn I did. Got to see what, I think this is open in the back. This is like a turbine engine, right? But it's not a jet. It powers this propeller, is how I think it works. I'm not sure what this thing looks like on the back. Looking at other pictures. Yeah, there actually is an opening here, so I'm going to go there and do a thing. Let's do a bevel. Holy banana peel. Looking at photos. What make planar is going to do here. All right, so I'm going to do a plus there and then no outline, but yes, and then I'm going to move that thing up so it goes straight in. It's see how that looks. That's not bad. It's something like that anyway, right? So this is how we do it. Make sure as you go along that you save these things, right? And save multiple versions and stuff like that, because it's really easy to get all messed up and then wish you could get back to where you were before. All right. So we'll just wrap up the modeling here. I'm going to keep it relatively simple like this, but you can add more detail as needed. I think I can do the propeller afterwards because that's going to be a separate object. Yeah, looking good.